Are you homeschooling a fifth grader this year? Because I am, and I'm going to share all of the things that we're using for fifth grade this year and all of our plans. Welcome back to another day of curriculum week. Today we're chatting about fifth grade. If you missed the other videos, we've already chatted about second grade, preschool, morning basket, history, and science. And please make sure you come back tomorrow for seventh grade. Fifth grade. We're like a month in, I'm already seeing so much growth from my fifth grader, so much growth. Level 5 handwriting from the good and the beautiful. Last year, she used the cursive book from Logic of English, and that was good. But I switched my kids to this one because they have the doodle pages, and I knew that they would enjoy them. And this is more, I want them to work on their penmanship so that they have good penmanship, but I also want to just make it fun. So this is primarily cursive with some print. And I like it. It's got some Bible verses in there. It's got like, I love my mom. I love my family. I love my dad. Things like that are just really good and positive. He is doing better at writing the cursive, but we still need to work on reading the cursive. So I need to be more intentional about like, okay, what does this say? And writing out maybe below, okay, what letter is that? And then writing it in print. What letter is that? And writing it in print so she can, and then having her read it in print so that she can really start to absorb what she's writing in cursive, because she can identify the letters independently. But now that we're stringing them together into words and sentences, it gets a little tricky. I feel like it takes a good couple of years to really be able to fully read and write cursive. My seventh grader is there. He can read everything in cursive and is pretty fluent in writing cursive at this point, although he is still using one of these as well. English, we are using a couple of things, but the first one I'm going to share is Language Arts and Literature Level 4 from the Good and the Beautiful. We did the assessment, and this is where she landed, and that's perfect. It's been really good for her so far. So it has a couple of different pieces. It's got this reader that's got several stories in it. Actually it has two readers. So this is the World Biographies reader, and then there's another one that's fictional books. And then it's got this main course book. Level 4 does write it to the students. So it'll have this little parent-teacher section telling you to do like the challenging sentence climb and then check their work. And then it's got this lesson here and then work to practice the lesson similar to their math. And then it's got just like spiral review. And then on some days have some geography, which I really am happy about because I feel like we could use extra geography. So she's doing a lot of like tracing paper, tracing the countries and labeling them. It has poetry for her to read. And then every day it alternates between, in this book, it'll either tell you to do a spelling lesson or a writing lesson. We are skipping the spelling lessons because we're using something else for spelling, which I'll get to next. So here's the spelling workshop though. So it's got a spelling workshop. And I do think she would like the doodly things that come with the spelling, but again, we're just already using something that's working for us, so we're gonna stick with it. And then the next day it'll have a writing workshop, which talks about writing effective paragraphs. It talks about varied language, and I think it does work its way using sensory language. It does work its way up to essays, I believe, towards the end of the year. But right now we're just in really writing effective paragraphs and expanding on that. We are using an additional resource for writing this year, and I can't show it to you because it's online. So I'm going to put a picture up here. It is OutSchool, and we have used OutSchool on and off since we began homeschooling. This year, both of my older kids are using a writing teacher, and so she's taking a group lesson on writing effective paragraphs, and she's had 4 classes, I believe, and we're seeing like huge growth in the writing. So, and she's one of my kids where we have very similar personalities, and sometimes the writing lessons, it's like, it's not worth it to have that battle, and I want to preserve our relationship. So outsourcing that has been huge because she's getting the directions from someone else. She's much more receptive to learning the structure of paragraphs from someone else. And I'm seeing it reflected when she does her narration notebook for history. She is writing so much now. This is so much more than she was writing last year. And it's organized well, and it's got the correct structure, and she's writing effective sentences and paragraphs. And she's not like, oh, you want me to write me a paragraph? Like, she's like, I can do this, because every week she gets on her class and they write a paragraph about something different. And her teacher gives her sentence starters. And it's just been a wonderful addition to our homeschool this year. So because we're not using the spelling that comes with the Good and the Beautiful's English, we are using sequential spelling. And we started this last year. It uses word families. And so there's 25 words each day, and they are all, well, it's multiple word families. So like the end words like end, bend, lend, blend, depend, suspend, and then it'll be IPes. So pipe, windpipe, ripe, gripe, wipe, swipe. And then every day there's like a different suffix at the end. So it'll end in S, then it'll end in ED, then it'll end in ING. And it's just getting used to the repetition and the pattern of the words. This has been wonderful for us. She does this in conjunction with her second grade sister. So we will finish this book this year, and then we will move on to sequential spelling level 2. For math this year, we are continuing with the Good and the Beautiful, Simply Good and Beautiful, Math 5. She did Math 4 last year. We switched to it partway through the year, and it is still working for her, so we are still doing it. We'll start with a video lesson. You can scan the QR code or just go to their website or use their app. So you do the lesson, you fill this out during the lesson. And if you're still kind of stuck, I will read this through with her, which is just like a mini lesson. You can do either or, but we use this in addition if needed. It has a lesson practice, and then it has an independent review. Although it doesn't say independent review because it's all supposed to be independent, but I do some of it with her. And so it does have a spiral review. Some of this does take a long time, even though it doesn't seem like a lot. This part can be very time consuming. So if I know that she's understanding the concept, I will have her do like half, because if she's understanding it and she's getting that spiral review practice, which is what I want, I'm happy with that. So with this, I did add in the math notebook. This is from School Nest. And last year we were using graph paper. It's all graph paper inside, but it was like from a pad, but then the pad was falling apart and ended up loose leaf, and it was just a huge mess. And so my older kids this year got a math notebook so that they can write out their problems. And in the front, it does actually have a couple of things they can utilize as well. Picture of a number bond, place value chart, 10 frames, things you could copy if you needed to, hundreds chart. So she's able to use these as resources if needed. And it's just been really helpful to keep it all in one place. And then if she got something wrong, I can go back and check her work and say, oh, look, we just made this little easy mistake. Let's fix it and figure out the real answer. Another thing that we are doing this year for her is assigned novels. And we have this big stack of novels. I'll probably do a separate video showing her choices. I went through a couple of book lists. I actually used Little School of Smiths. Her daughter is the same age as mine. And so I went through the books that she read last year. She posted them all on her blog and gave like little snippet reviews. We just went through and read through the reviews, and I let her pick which ones. And I just picked one per month for her to do. And so she'll read the book, and then she's going to do just like a 1-page book report page. And then she's going to do these envelopes where she decorates the front of the envelope, and then they're like connected. It's from Little School of Smiths. I'll see if I can take a picture and put it in this post so you can get a visual. For her PE enrichment activity, she is doing jazz dance this year and Girl Scouts. So that's going to keep her busy, keep her social life up, keep her active. And that's it. It should be a great 5th grade year. Please come back tomorrow to watch the last day of curriculum week, which is 7th grade.